Ooh, I just learned something from Beyoncé that I gotta tell you. I should keep it a secret, but I wanna break down 4 specific things that I learned directly from Mrs. Carter. I started to call her Miss Rose. No, stop playing with it. But you wanna tune into this episode because it's something you have not seen and have not heard related to Beyoncé, her brand, and her business, and how you can implement it in yours. How she leveraged and positioned her brand. Number 1, put it on the screen, how she leveraged and positioned her brand. Your brand positioning will determine the level of the business you build. She separated her personal life from her business life. Do I want to build the Michael Jordan shoe where we can make more than enough, but let's make a little bit of them and sell it so we can create scarcity and urgency around it, so we can always sell out? You get it now. Listen to this, fam. This is the part that nobody talks about. Extreme work ethic. Extreme work ethic. When it is not attached to your money, your lifestyle, or your brand, but you still do it. It's another work ethic when you work from success. Because now you're trying to make sure you're not a successful failure, that you're succeeding in all the areas that only matter to other people other than yourself. If you're watching this video, you're about to make a whole lot of money. Welcome back to another episode of Monetize with Marcus. I'm your host, Marcus Roger. The goal of this podcast is to take the questions you're asking your friends. Girl, what you think I ought to do? She don't know. She don't know. Hey, bro, what you think about this? He don't know. So why not take those questions you're asking friends that don't do what you do and answer them here? So instead of going to Google, instead of going to YouTube or social media, we decided to create a platform that takes questions and answers them in video form for you. Well, I'm your online coaching cousin, and it's my job to serve you. So in today's episode, I got to tell my business. I never admitted this openly, and I hope y'all don't judge me. This is really hard to really get off my chest. Can we go tight shot? Yeah, this is really, okay, let me get back into acting mode. Y'all ready? Let me go. It's really hard to admit, but I have been to quite a few Beyoncé concerts. I went to Formation. I went to the one with her and Jay-Z. I'm talking about right. I'm having my team put it in this video. Like, I'm talking about right by the stage. I got to admit it. Now, I'm not in the Beehive. However, my application's pending. But here's my point in this. I think it's some stuff that we can take from her business model that I think you probably haven't seen that is a game changer. That we might well just dive right in. 4 things I learned from her business model that we could utilize if we ever decided to. The girl changed the industry. Before that, I can't remember which album it was, came out where she sneak attack you at night where you woke up that next morning. You're like, what you about to do? Oh, I don't know. Beyoncé album, I'm finna listen to it. The industry had never seen someone release an album without any press, without any radio. She, in essence, created her own industry and her own marketing channel. Then Drake did it, but it was like, Beyoncé already did that, bro. She already did that. Now, here's my point in this of what I'm talking about. I don't believe that we all have the Beyoncé effect. So that ain't what we should take from her. That sneak attack stuff, Now, but I'm gonna show you in a second if you decide to do it, how you can do it, but I wouldn't release it that way. But here's what I found. When she did this, outsold everyone else without any press, any radio, any TV, and released a tour without having to do business with the engine that has always been the music industry. Guess what happens? She changes her position now to where they want to partner with her, where they will pay her to come on the show. So she creates another stream of revenue by being willing to risk not doing the traditional route. Like, I'm not gonna come and y'all ask me questions about my marriage for me to tell you about my album. I'm not about to come sit on your couch, she ain't do none of it. She like, catch me. Listen to this album, see if you like it. Now, what you miss is leading up to that, the level of how she leveraged, and here's the first thing we can learn, how she leveraged and positioned her brand. Number 1, we're gonna put it on the screen, how she leveraged and positioned her brand. Your brand positioning will determine the level of the business you build. Her brand position was this. She separated her personal life from her business life. Other celebrities, other people were blending the two together and allowing people to have access to their life as a form of building their brand and building emotional connection. People have an emotional connection to her work ethic. They have emotional connection to her music. you don't know her life. You're like, you was waiting to see the kids, you name it. Now, here's why I like this. I'm a very private person. I can rock with it. It's what I learned. Like, my friends was telling me, it was like, bro, I've been cool with you for over 10 years. I ain't never seen a picture of your mom and dad in your social media. And you're not going to. You're not going to. That's my personal life. Like, I just posted my daughter. And people was like, congratulations, she's 9 months. Like, that baby almost 1, y'all just saw her. And they're like, congrats. What is she, 1 month old? No, 9. Because here's my thoughts on this. When you are building a brand, you get to choose what aspects of you will share with the person. You get to choose what parts of your life is open for debate, what is open for criticism, conversation, or celebration. Say it again. What's open for criticism? Anything you expose people to in content, they get the opportunity to criticize openly. What is open for conversation? What you think? You think it look good? You think this? And it's open for celebration. Now, most people post content with the hope of celebration and they end up getting criticism and they mad. We've got to pause right there because I'm in the giving mood. I decided to offer you a free gift, absolutely free. Now, I tell you all the time about turning your ideas into online income, but how am I going to tell you to do something and not provide the resource for it? There's so many questions that people have online about what should I post? How do I get my engagement up? How do I get people to click the link in my bio, buy from me? What should I sell? Whether it's an ebook, an online course, how much should I charge? How do I launch? How do I do a webinar? You see what I'm saying? So I decided to create a free training and give it to you that you can utilize to learn how to literally take the services that you do or the ideas you have and build a successful online company. Go to www.monetizewithmarcus.com. My gift to you. You're welcome. I'm telling you that when you're building your brand, you get to choose, like Ms. Carter. I'm going to choose what I allow you all to have access to. And when she does, it's in a movie or something where she monetizes on it. That Netflix show, I can't remember what, Renaissance or something like that. Renaissance, the movie, and then you had the other thing that was on Netflix. Fam, when she finally let y'all see back behind the scenes, it was behind a paywall. It was like, you can criticize, but run me my money first. Run me my money first. So, first lesson we learned is how to position our brand. Now, how do you position your brand? The first thing I just said to you is think through what aspects, don't lose yourself in building a brand. What aspects are for you? Your brand story. I believe my pain is not just for me. My pain is for others. Because if I can tell you what I went through to build anything in my life and it helps you to avoid pain, I will add that in my brand. My mistakes, that's in my brand. My education, that's in my brand. You get quality, that's in my brand. When you're building your brand and positioning yourself, you're positioning when I talk about positioning, it's like value. People know what they get when they get you. Does it make sense? So how could she release an album people support it? Because they already knew the quality of the brand. Now, if we vis-a-vis in another episode I did called Kim Kardashian versus Beyoncé, I explained the difference between the two brands. I'll mention it really quick now. The two brands differ because one is high visibility. Kim Kardashian drives her brand by the visibility of television shows, marketing, advertisement, content always being visible. So she drives revenue, drives sales, build a brand around the attention that comes from visibility. Beyoncé does not drive her brand by the attention that comes from visibility. She drives it by the value proposition of when she rolls out, the quality of the work, and the scarcity and urgency surrounding her brand. So one position their brand with scarcity, urgency, limited amount. The other build a brand off high visibility. Here's my point. I only reference it for you to say neither are wrong. Both of them making money. It's you choosing what type of brand do I want to build. Do I want to build the Michael Jordan shoe where we can make more than enough, but let's make a little bit of them and sell it so we can create scarcity and urgency around it so we can always sell out? Or do we want to create a shoe that is accessible for everybody that we just keep generating revenue? It's not talked about, and I don't have a problem with either. So that's the first lesson we learned, being willing to position our brand and take a position of scarcity, urgency, privacy, and we're still going to deliver on the promise of what you want from me. Music, you're going to get that. What you want from me, you want to see my personal life, you ain't getting that. Ain't no reality shows over here in Beyoncé land. You get it now. Okay, Number two thing I learned, I hope you catching this. Number two thing I learned from Beyoncé. Ain't this dope? We taking B and learning some things about branding. Now let's learn some business lessons. Number two thing we learned from Beyoncé in terms of a business lesson. We can learn marketing. We can learn marketing. But before we get to marketing, here's what I got to get you to realize. I'm going to connect these two thoughts together. Marketing and building a community, building a tribe. Okay? So that's number two, number three, but they're going to blend together. We learned marketing from her, and we also learned the value of building a community and building a tribe. Now, here's what's dope about it. When Beyoncé decides to roll something out, her community and her tribe becomes her marketing and street team. What used to be radio now is her tribe. What used to be the television show is now her community and her tribe. What used to be the billboards is now the beehive. She named them something, so now they have please listen to this, if you're building a brand or business, you need to create self-identifying factors. People who identify with certain characteristics and traits, that's how you build a community. So like my community is rooted in, I always talk about ethical selling. Don't lie, don't steal. Bring integrity back to the coaching space. I'm always going to deal with personal development, time management, spiritual development as the undergird of business development. My tribe is a tribe of people that want to get better. My tribe don't want to take nobody money knowing they cheated them. They want to serve their community. That's the ethics we stand on. So the people that I attract are typically faith-based people. They're people who are looking to grow in their relationship and grow their business. And they don't think that the two have to be separate. They don't think they have to do this or that. They know they can do both. That's my tribe. Makes sense? My tribe is after stress-free millions. They don't want no money that costs them their peace. You get it? We ain't team grind, team no sleep. These are self-identifying factors that people who are part of your community can identify with and say, I rock with that. It is not always spoken. It is reflected in the nature of the brand so a person knows and can feel it in your communication. Some of y'all listeners, you're like, I can feel that bro is a faith dude. I don't have to every message preach the Bible to you. It's a part of the brand. So when you're building a brand, when you are marketing, your marketing should have certain essence in it. The essence of luxury is in certain brands. Family. Certain logos. So let me ask you a question. And let's do this really quick so you catch this with marketing, community, tribe, so this all flows together. When I say Lamborghini, it's a person's last name, fam. When I say Rolls Royce, these are two people's last name. When I say Marriott, it's a person's last name. When I say Mercedes and on down the line, most of the brands that you know is a reflection of the essence of some form of luxury. So the reason you want it sometimes is not the style of the car, it is the essence of what it makes you feel. Do you get it now? Starbucks. So if I say, hey, bro, I'm about to buy some coffee, you want Starbucks or you want Circle K? If you can, now someone will say, well, Starbucks tastes better. Okay, apples to apples, oranges to oranges, if they taste the same. Okay, I gotta just tell y'all my story. Back in the day, we used to throw parties at the house all the time. And this, you know, when you was in college, that's when you drink the bottles and you save the bottles. Anybody know? Time of the refrigerator. Come on. Y'all used to do that too. Had a bottle sitting up there. I don't know why. It's throw the bottle out, bro. Throw the bottle away. You did it too. We used to save the bottles. Where's my point in this? We realized when like Belvedere was big back then and Grey Goose because rappers were talking about it. And then Moet was real big because rappers were talking about it. One person's birthday, we decided to buy some Cristal, like because rappers were talking about it. But I realized with that Belvedere, this before Ciroc, Belvedere and all that, there was a vodka called Savetka. And I'm just naming names. Okay, Savetka. Savetka is 5 times distilled, same quality. We would take that Savetka bottle, because it was like $15, and you could pour it into the Belvedere bottle. It don't taste no different. And we would watch people only drink the Belvedere and be like, and Savetka would be right beside it. They wouldn't touch the Savetka. Same thing. And if you add, this tastes different. Man, and I would say, just taste it and see if you taste different. And they'll make a face and on down the line. Just yuck. Why? Marketing and branding created an essence where a person in their mind believes that one thing is better than the other. One thing is better than the other. You should quit working for free. How did social media hire all of us to be their workforce? We're on the app posting videos, going live, creating reels. We do not get paid when we create content on social media. They do, by selling our content to advertisers. But how do you actually build an online business using social media? I want to break it down for you and give you access to it. There's 5 simple steps. I'll tell it to you in a few seconds. Step number 1 is client attraction. I'm going to show you how to actually attract clients that will happily pay you what you're offering. Step number 2, how to capture them. How do you get their emails? How do you get their phone numbers? How do you get them to show up to your event? Be on your Zoom calls. To what I refer to as client dating. It's where you nurture a relationship with people to get them to say yes to whatever you're offering. And I'm even going to show you what type of content to create that gives you brand visibility and brand recognition. I call it content to cash flow. You get access wherever you're watching this video. You'll see it in the description and you'll see it beneath this. Let's get back to the episode. This is what I'm telling you, that the lesson that we can learn. The Beehive make you feel like you're missing out on life. You understand me? Like, she created a tribe that creates this essence and this mistake. I don't know anybody that has a tribe like this. All right, I got to move. So first we talked about brand positioning, figuring out what do you want to put out? Like, what do you want to put out that allows people to have a conversation, criticism, or celebration? How do you want to position yourself? What is some of the things that you want people to say about you? You ought to be intentional about that in advance to say, what am I going to give and allow? What parts of me will I allow to give? She decided I'm going to give you music. I'm not going to give you no opinion. Like, people still wondering, Lemonade album and Jay-Z album, like, who's the girl? Who Becky with the good hair? Keep talking about it. They back together. They in St. Tropez. No interviews will be done talking about. Do you see the power of that? What am I telling you? How does this apply to you? Empower yourself to realize that you don't owe it. Once you build a brand and establish the boundaries of your brand, you do not owe an explanation to people who ask for something you never promised them with your brand. You're still a person. All right, last thing that we learned from her. Listen to this, fam. Listen to this. This is the part that nobody talks about. Extreme work ethic. Extreme work ethic. Extreme work ethic. Yo, I finally saw that movie and I was impressed. Because I said, hold on. This girl tore her ACL and had surgery and rehabbed herself, put on a show, and I'm seeing the details in the color, like from the smallest of detail. Now, here's what I love. As rich as she was, she asked, hey, how many hours? She was asking one dude who kept delaying the amount of time and they were stalling. I'm talking about got involved. I'm like, we can do this now. You're telling me that there's not none anywhere in the world. Here's my point. I love a person who has a work ethic but still has the ability to monitor not only their time but their money no matter how successful we get. Here's my point I'm going to say to you, and this is going to be a great point. Most of us know really well how to work when we're struggling, but we don't know how to work from success. I'm going to say it one more time. Most people's biggest problem is they are well acquainted and have a PhD in the work ethic, the requirements needed to work through struggle. But most people do not know and they're not equipped for what to do with success. There is a different work ethic that sustains success 20 years. There is a different mindset that when you don't have to, but you still do. I'm going to say it one more time. When it is not attached to your money, your lifestyle, or your brand, but you still do it. It's another work ethic when you work from success. Because now you're trying to make sure you're not a successful failure, that you're succeeding in all the areas that only matter to other people other than yourself. This when you can redefine who you are and redefine your brand, and you can reestablish yourself to a whole new audience. This is when you can pivot. When you're working from success is where you redefine what will be the success. Let me say it in a different way. This is a better way. Rewind. What will be the filter that you see success so you define it for yourself? What do I consider success? Doing what I love with the people I love without wondering, can I afford it? That for me is success. Doing what I love with the people I love without wondering, can I afford it? The day I stop loving doing this in front of you on this camera, I'm going to stop doing it. Because if I become successful doing this, but I hate it, I'm a successful failure. I am a free prisoner of somebody else's, so I'm obligated to somebody else's desires while I ignore my own. If I'm doing it because of money, I'm a paycheck prostitute. That means I'm willing to turn a trick for the highest bidder. And if my skill, my talent, my time, my ability is married to a paycheck, that means that I will do something for money with no emotion involved. Did you hear what I just told you? Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm out of here. I gave you some heat. 4 things I learned from Beyoncé. Thank you, B. And I got to make sure that I don't call you no more. Last time I called you, Jay picked up. He was a little upset about that. All right, until next time, I hope that you got value out of this, some things that you can learn that will help you in more ways than just your business life, but in your personal life, in your business life. I used to say it this way with my friends, man. I was like, man, I just want to be good in all areas. I want to make sure I'm good from the Bible to the boardroom to the bedroom to the bank account. I just want all areas to be fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be just good in my spiritual life and then over here at the bank, they like denied. All right, this has been another episode of Monetize with Marcus. In the link in this description, going to give you a whole lot of resources, things you can get access to, some free, some as low as $125 to get access to coaching, mentorship, development, to be a part of this amazing community. Somebody asked me recently, it was like, bro, what's the mob? Dope name. Monetize Online Business Blueprint. Why do we call it that? I was in Bali. Light flex, but not a flex, because that's really where I was. It's on the back of a yacht. Light flex, not a full flex, but that's where I was. And it was a jacuzzi and some massage beds on the back of the yacht. Light flex, not a flex, but it was nice. Okay. And I'm talking to my boy. He'll remember this. Wrong Way Billionaire. Shout out to him. And my guy, Nehemiah Davis. A few of us there. Him 500. And we sitting there talking. This is right before You Know What 19. C19. We all there masterminding, talking, and we're talking about redeveloping ourselves, our businesses, our brand. This ties into closing off the episode. And I, at the point, was doing something called Monetize Your Minutes. I had an agency that was doing copywriting and ads and on down the line. And I wasn't enjoying it. I was still somewhat helping people with book writing, traveling, speaking. This 2019. I said, man, I'm going to tell you what I really would love to do. I would love to franchise my business. They were like, what you mean? I was like, bro, just think about like if you bought a Subway or if you bought a tropical smoothie. At the time, a friend of mine had just bought a tropical smoothie. And he was talking about how dope it is. I saw the booklet, how it told him from the ingredients, how many scoops of what goes into the stuff. And I was like, that's really dope. Like it tells you how many scoops of the powder, how many scoops of the strawberries. So he had that from real estate infrastructure. And it blew my mind. Here's my point. I said, man, what would be dope is what if we took everything that we do in our business and we gave it to people and I only coached them on what I did in business to make my first million. I said, so what is it that I really do? I make money online. Well, monetize online. So I can show people how to monetize an online business. If I give them my business, what I give them? The blueprint. It became the Monetize Online Business Blueprint. I was like, oh, I got it. And it could be called the mob. It's catchy. You get it? The mob family, because all mobs are based on the family, the Giulianis, you know, right? And immediately we shift colors, we shift everything, and it changed. And now we just start structuring and developing. But here was my point. I was making money, but I was hating what I was doing. I didn't like my content. I didn't like the business. Didn't like my clients. Making that pivot, I rebranded myself. At the time I was doing When the Day Was, it's still the name of one of my companies, but like the colors was gold, blue. We made this pivot and made a decision that when we launched it, I said I would only work with 10 people at a time. I went high ticket. So I started charging at the time, I think it was $5K. I worked with 10 people for 8 weeks. Then I went to $10K. So I worked with less people. Think of what we did. Remember scarcity, urgency, this tied to the Beyoncé one. I worked with less people, higher price points. I had moved. When we got back, this 2020, when we coming back from Bali, we went to Bali, Thailand, Hong Kong, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and Sydney, Australia. We over there like, why people got masks on? We had to be patient zero when we got back because I was sick as a dog, right? So we over there for 2 months. I get back in Florida and here's what helped me. Making that pivot in the business and making a decision to not be in prison to previous success. but how to work from success and being bold enough to reposition the brand to higher levels of scarcity and exclusivity. I said, I'm going to work with less people at higher price points and teach them everything. No upsells. It blew my business up. We launched with a webinar. Soon as we launched, 27 people signed up at $5K. We made $100,000 on our first launch. $100,000 on our first launch, and we never slowed down. Why? I was crystal clear. It didn't start with who I was going to sell to. It started to, what did I actually want to do? What brand did I want to build? What will I give them? What won't I give them? I said, anything I know, I want to charge enough to be able to teach them everything and work with less people. So now I'm sitting in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at my place there. And now every day I'm sitting and working, and I was only coaching 2 days a week. Family, your responsibility is to decide what type of brand you want to build, what type of business you want to build, what type of bank account you want to build, and define what is success for you. All right? If you need me, you know where to find me. I'll be over here minding my online business. I'll see you in the next episode. All right, we done.